Tominey and Tom Swarbrick are here, both news bloggers and broadcasters. Thrilled to have you here.
Cookery writer. I mean, they could have helped you out.
No,
they went for
the alliteration.
culinary blogger.
Culinary blogger. There's a lot of syllables.
Yes.
Easy for you to say, Ben.
If you hadn't had a bottle of wine before you came on, you probably...
That's the mistake we made.
It's Christmas, so yeah.
Vintage champagne.
Yeah, exactly, rather than the Argos catalogue.
Argos catalogue worth over...
Oh, wow. Don't even get me started on this, because my husband literally keeps everything. We've got about 15 games consoles in the attic.
Oh,
Wait.
clever.
He had set aside an old Spectrum game to sell. I think it's worth about £300 or £400. I've tidied it away, and I don't know where I put it.
Camilla!
So I've got to find it for Christmas and wrap it up and give it to him. And so we're into all of that because my house is full of this stuff.
Has Dan ever assessed what you've got in the
No,
loft?
but I might get Dan round, actually, because if Dan comes round and says half the stuff my husband's keeping in the attic is junk, I will happily take it out of the dump. Nothing would give me more pleasure.
I wonder if any of you kept your masks from lockdown. Because we have been led to believe that Daniel Eccles, the Chief Executive of NHS Providers, is saying that we all need to get back into the habit of wearing our masks again in the office or public transport to try and combat this tidal wave of flu, Camilla.
Do you know what? I had a flu jab yesterday. I just paid for one at the pharmacy because we've done so many stories on the Telegraph about this particular K strain. And, of course, you can get your flu jab if you are eligible, go to your GP and demand that you have it. With regard to masks, the opposition leader, Kemi Badenoch, has got some flack here, but I'm just reading what she said, and I think it all sounds eminently sensible. She said she's still traumatised by mask wearing. Well, I think we're all still traumatised by COVID all these years on. I personally think that face coverings can be a barrier to social interaction. She's not wrong. The deaf have complained of as much. I don't think the government should be mandating anything. OK, they're not, but she's saying, please don't if you're thinking of doing it again. I think people can make up their own minds. Agreed. If you want to wear a mask and it makes you feel better, wear one. If not, not. If you're really sick, you should be in bed, not on public transport. Again, common sense. I just looked up, we did a story back at the time of 2020, my colleague Sarah Napton, the science editor, on the efficacy of masks.
Yes.
Lots of different studies. Some of them are misleading because they do the study in a healthcare setting, and of course you're also combining it with lots of hygiene, hand washing and other measures, protective equipment. The one that stuck out to me was one by a university in Beijing, where obviously mask wearing is much more commonplace than it is here. And the upsum of it was, yes, they are effective and they can bring down transmission in 79% of cases, but crucially, if worn before symptoms present themselves. If you're wearing them after you're already sniffling, coughing and having a sore throat, you've passed the point of being infectious, unfortunately.
Right. I think the point is that people can make up their own minds. And I take what you say about what Kemi Badenoch said. There is no government mandate on masks. It's not happening. So criticising something that isn't happening is a bit odd. People should make up their own minds with the knowledge of what actually works, because there's no point in doing it if it's not going to work. We had, oh my God, we were talking about this on my LBC show yesterday, and all the kind of talk about FFP2 masks and stuff, and you just sort of hit with all that again. Find the thing that actually works. In other parts of the world, it is kind of the socially required thing that if you're coughing and sneezing, you pop a mask on if you're on public transport. I see Nigel Farage saying, I didn't wear them last time, I won't wear them this time, this is nonsense. And you just think, well, there is evidence to say that mask
although he was
works.
one of the only political leaders not to get COVID in 2020.
But I kind of feel like if you're coughing and sneezing and you have to go to work, good on you for getting out there and going to work. If you want to pop a mask on because you think it works, because the evidence says that some of it does work some of the time, go for it.
Clearly, this strain of flu is
serious.
Full on. Schools gone into lockdown.
Yes.
You know, there's so many cases.
Yeah, I hate that. I don't want that.
No.
We don't want lockdowns again, do we? I mean, I really don't think we do.
Schools cannot close.
Seasonally, flu always is, you know, the graph will always peak in November, December and January. The other thing is, my dad, a retired GP, used to run care homes. You know, let's not underestimate the value of hand washing. Hand washing, particularly in winter, is so crucial to trying to avoid and using the sanitizer. Anybody in any medical setting will tell you that regular and repeated hand washing is a very good way of trying to ward off flus and colds.
What we need, here's the advice, here's how to keep yourself safe. You're probably going to get it because we're all circulating around Christmas time. Don't close the schools, don't mandate masks, everybody crack on.
Yes.
Be sensible.
Exactly.
Talking of sensible, it feels as though every single week we talk about social media and the effect of social media on children.
Yes.
The Australians have now done it. They've employed the first social media ban for under 16s. How are they doing?
Well, Anthony Albanese, who's the Prime Minister there, basically said enough's enough. And they are making youngsters there pass sort of age assurance tests to ensure that if they're under 16, that they don't go on social media. Now, concerns have been raised by some campaign groups going, well, this could lead to social isolation of some young people. Right. My personal view on it, having done a lot of different events and written quite a lot about this subject, is it sort of needs to be, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. I think if you're really saying that we have sparked a mental health crisis in at least 2 generations, the Zs and the Alphas, because of smartphones, you should really be saying no, children should not have smartphones at all before the age of 16. Give them a brick phone, don't have a search function. If it applied to everyone, if it was a blanket ban, nobody would be left out because nobody would have them. The concern about the social media ban is it's really difficult to enforce.
What counts as social media?
How do they recognise?
They do facial recognition. There are loads of examples already of kids.
Does it work?
Well, there are lots of examples of kids getting an image of Beyonce and getting the thing to, and it, you know, saying that you're over the age.
Well, so kids can circumvent this stuff better than anyone.
Well, but interestingly, in Australia, the fine is not going to be levied on the person who breaks the rules. It's going to be levied on the company to enforce the rules.
Yes.
So, which is kind of interesting way round of doing it. I think a lot of parents feel like they are having to single-handedly hold back the tide on this stuff, and they need as much help as they can possibly get. And whenever we've covered this on the show, a lot of people say, do you know what, just take it out of our control, ban the whole thing, shut it all down, and we'll see you at 16. The problem is it's almost impossible to do. What even counts as social media? Is WhatsApp social media? Is YouTube social media? Because these things also can be harmful. In the minds of the Australians,
it is. I mean, the other problem, of course, is if you ban social media and, say, if you went so far as to ban phones, EdTech is so prevalent in schools now. This is the other frustration. You can stop your own child from having a phone for as long as you like. They'll turn up at secondary school, be told to get a Chromebook or an iPad or an equivalent tablet.
Because they have to do their work on
it. And then everything is on that online operating system.
Someone described it brilliantly as the tech companies, or all of our seatbelt moment for social media.
Yes.
Because suddenly we realised that everyone's driving around in cars without seatbelts on, and you realise, actually, there are ways of improving safety in cars with seatbelts, and now it's law, and it's unquestionably has solved tens of thousands of millions of lives since that law came in to pass. And actually, if this is one way, there's those kids, and I feel for the teenagers, the 14, 15-year-olds in Australia who suddenly are having it taken off them. I know some of them are going to court to try and reverse the ban. You understand them saying this isn't fair, why should we be judged by this? But every country, certainly around Europe, are looking at this, waiting to see how it goes. You could see if it works, and they can get it working. Because I think the Australian government said, we're not expecting it to work from day one. It's going to have teething problems. We're going to work through this. But we want to help parents, and we want to help these young people.
This is a bit of an experiment, isn't it? A bit of an experiment on the brains of young people.
But it has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It won't be perfect, but it has to start.
By the way, the tech bros, interestingly, many memos circulate. No, but they don't let their children have this stuff.
Absolutely.
There have been internal memos by people very senior at TikTok saying, by the way, don't let your kids near it.
Totally right.
So irresponsible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Totally right.
Right then, Christmas shopping. Tom?
When do I start? No, I don't.
I've got 2 big ticket items, that's it. Done none of my stocking fillers.
Done none of that. Camilla, you've done much?
I did a bit last night, actually. Did a bit of online shopping.
Well done.
Big ticket items, easy. Yeah, it's the little bits. But then when they ask for the little bits and you're like totting it up and you're going, well, hang on, these little bits are adding up. Then my son threw in football boots. Oh, great. Well, let's remortgage the house.
What about if you have a present that perhaps you didn't give to someone in time and then you see them after Christmas?
That's fine.
Is it still OK to give presents after Christmas?
That's the point.
Yeah.
What's the point? The deadline's Christmas, isn't it? So the deadline is Christmas Day is the day you open your presents after that.
Yeah, but you're not 6 years old, Tom.
Well,
but if we're doing it as Christmas Day as the day, all right, that's just unbelievable. Unbelievable assault. If you're doing Christmas Day as the day you open your presents and you don't get a present on Christmas Day, don't worry about it.
I was actually just planning to get your present in the Christmas sales, if that's all right.
That's
so
very
I'm
sweet.
going to go out on Boxing Day, and then if I see you here in January,
As long as you spend the same,
literally,
but get more.
I don't want anything.
But research, Tom, from the Ohio State University has found it is better to give the gift late than not at all.
Well, better late than never. I mean, it's a phrase. It's a phrase for a reason.
And I quite like getting something after Christmas because the mayhem is gone, and then it's like, oh,
it's a little
what a lovely little gift.
It's like a little night out in January, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like, oh,
it's
why
the John
not?
Lewis advert
The idea
when he
that
finds
adults...
the record under the tree because they finished Christmas Day. That's the magic
really
of that.
what upset about? Oh, great aunt,
about finding that spectrum game.
Great aunt, whatever, didn't get me a present on Christmas Day. Oh, good, it's arrived on the 29th.
How about this?
Why do you care? Grow up.
I tell you what I'm going to do. When we're next on together, I'm going to give you a gift that I don't like.
OK, great.
That's a great idea.
A recycled gift.
I will
recycle
it and I will give it to you, and then we can film your expression as you open it.
I'll give you the perfect response.
Oh! What would it be, though?
Have you got a receipt for that?
Underwear?
Underwear.
I'll give him some lingerie.
I think we had a re-gifting moment a few years ago in our family Christmas when someone got given something that they'd given to someone else the year before. One of those amazing moments. It's now become a thing. You just got to get... Someone's going to get that.
You've got to own that.
There's also a point of gifting where you just shouldn't have bothered. My next-door neighbour literally gave his wife, for Christmas, a nose hair trimmer. Not even just a hair trimmer, specifically a nose hair trimmer. And I just think, at that stage, you just shouldn't have bothered.
I think that's really caring. Because clearly he was the only person that could give that to her.
Yeah.
Because he's aware that she's got
it's a bit
nasal hair.
Passive-aggressive, isn't it? Just have a word. Happy Christmas. Your nose hair's too long.
Yeah, it's like a packet of Smints, isn't it?
We'd love to know some of those presents that you've been given, perhaps you wish you hadn't been given. Like the nose hair clippers.
I'm going to get a pair of tweezers on you and see how you like it.
Exactly.
Bit of your own
do get in touch with us and let us know. We're going to have more from Tom and Camilla just after 11.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.